Ravi was not like other millionaires. He didn't wear golden watches or throw big parties. He lived in a quiet house on the edge of New Delhi, filled with strange gadgets and blinking machines. He made his money by creating smart technology, not by showing off. Most people in the city didn't even know who he was. But aliens did. For the past 2 years, Ravi had been secretly working with alien companies. They trusted his mind, his inventions, and his calm nature. One day, a message came through his private device. It was not from Earth. General Takran invites you to the Zalari Business Assembly on Station Thrux 9. Attendance is required. Bring a guest. Formal. Ravi read it twice. Takran was a powerful alien commander. His decisions could change the future of many planets, including Earth. The assembly would take place on a space station that floated above Mars. Only the richest, smartest, and most powerful leaders were invited. Ravi could not say no. He leaned back in his chair and thought. He needed a guest. A business partner? No. A fancy woman in a dress? Too fake. He wanted someone real. His eyes turned to the window. Down below, Mira was walking his dog, Bruno, like she did every evening. She was simple, kind, and curious. She had never traveled outside India, but she always asked questions about the stars when they spoke. She didn't go to fancy schools, but she solved puzzles quickly and noticed little things. Ravi smiled. The next morning, when Mira brought Bruno back, Ravi was waiting at the door. "Mira," he said, "how would you like to come with me to space?" She laughed. "Very funny, sir." "I'm serious," he said. Her smile faded. "You mean ... real space?" "Yes, there's a dinner." "It's important. I want you to be my guest." Mira looked confused. "Why me? I'm just your dog walker." Ravi shrugged. "You're sharp, you're honest. You're not afraid of strange things. That's enough." Mira hesitated. Then she nodded. "Okay, but I don't have anything to wear to a space dinner." "I'll take care of that," he said. 3 days later, they stood together on the teleport pad at Earth Space Terminal. Mira wore a simple silver dress with soft shoes. Her hair was tied neatly. She looked elegant but natural. "Don't be scared," Ravi said. "I'm not scared," she replied. "Just ... excited." With a flash of blue light, they vanished. They arrived inside the grand hall of Station Thrux 9. The ceiling was high and covered in glass. Stars shined outside like diamonds on dark velvet. The floor was smooth and glowing. Alien beings walked around in tall robes and light suits. Some had wings, others had 4 arms, and some floated without touching the ground. Everyone turned to look at the human girl beside Ravi. "Who's the girl?" Someone whispered in a strange alien tongue. "A pet? A servant?" "No," another said. "He calls her his guest." Mira heard the whispers but kept her head high. She held Bruno's leash in one hand. Yes, Ravi had brought the dog too, claiming it helped him think. They were led to a long table where General Takran waited. He was tall, with silver skin and glowing eyes. His armor was made of star metal, and his voice sounded like thunder. "Ravi of Earth," Takran said. "Welcome." Ravi bowed slightly. "Thank you, General." Takran looked at Mira. "And this is Myra. She helps me keep balance," Ravi said. Takran nodded slowly. "Interesting choice." Around the table sat other leaders. One of them was Senna, a famous alien businesswoman with green crystal skin and a voice like wind chimes. She looked at Mira with a cold smile. So Senna said, "Earth's future lies in the hands of a dog walker." A few quiet laughs followed. Mira said nothing. She studied the way Senna moved, the way her fingers tapped the table, and how her eyes avoided the generals. The dinner began. Strange dishes were placed on the table, hovering plates with glowing fruits, drinks that changed color, and small cubes that sang when touched. Mira tried everything. "Tastes like mango," she whispered after eating a glowing blueberry. Ravi smiled. As they ate, The aliens discussed the main topic, the galactic energy ring, a powerful new system that would allow ships to travel between galaxies in seconds. It could change everything. Tok'ran wanted Earth's help to finish it. But Senna had other plans. She wanted to give the project to the Korgan Alliance, a group known for war and greed. The Korgans are strong, she said. They bring order. They bring fear, Ravi replied. Tok'ran listened, saying nothing. Suddenly Senna turned to Mira. What do you think, Earth Girl? Should we let your planet handle such a big task? Mira looked at her calmly. I don't know much about your kind, but where I come from, if a neighbor wants to build a bridge, we help him, so one day he'll help us too. A few aliens raised their heads. One nodded slowly. Senna's smile faded. Tok'ran looked at Mira. You speak simply, but wisely. Mira smiled. Thank you, sir. Later, as the dinner ended, Ravi whispered, You handled that well. Mira shrugged. I just said what made sense. She doesn't like you, Ravi said. She doesn't like Earth, Mira answered. I could smell it, Ravi laughed. That's why I brought you. As they walked back to their room, a quiet alien guard passed Mira a small folded paper. It was written in strange shapes. Mira looked at it, then at the stars outside the window. Something was not right, and she was going to find out what. The station was quiet at night. Stars hung like frozen sparks outside the tall windows. Mira sat by the edge of her room's round glass wall, still holding the small folded paper the alien guard had given her. She had spent an hour looking at the strange symbols. Some looked like numbers. Others looked like puzzle pieces. Mira didn't understand the alien language, but something about the pattern felt familiar. It reminded her of the puzzles she used to solve as a child. Shapes, lines matching pieces. Bruno the dog lay beside her, gently snoring. Mira turned to Ravi. This message is hiding something. Ravi, sitting at the desk, looked up from his tablet. You think it's important? I do, Mira said. I don't know how yet, but it feels like a warning. Ravi trusted her instincts. Try to rest. We have to go back to the assembly tomorrow, and the real talk about Earth's role will begin. The next morning, Mira wore a soft gray outfit that let her move freely. Ravi wore his simple dark suit. He didn't believe in showing power through clothes. He believed in showing it through ideas. As they walked down the shining hallway, many alien eyes followed them. Whispers returned. Some curious, some amused. At the large council room, they were guided to their seats at a long circular table. Dozens of alien leaders sat in chairs shaped to fit their different bodies, some small and round, others tall and narrow. General Tok'ran entered through the main gate. His footsteps echoed. He wore his silver armor again, and his face was calm but strong. He raised his hand. Let the second session begin. A screen appeared in the air above the table. A map of the galaxy was shown, then a model of the galactic energy ring. Lights moved through it, showing how fast ships could travel across stars. It looked like magic, but it was real science. Tok'ran spoke. This project is not only powerful, it is dangerous. If it falls into the wrong hands, many peaceful worlds could be destroyed. Senna stood slowly. Her green crystal skin sparkled under the lights. Then we must give it to strong hands. The Korgan Alliance is ready. They are organized. They can protect it. Several aliens nodded. To Kran looked at Ravi. What does Earth say? Ravi stood. Earth believes power should be shared, not controlled by fear. We want to help build the ring, and we offer our best minds, not weapons. Some aliens looked unsure. Then Senna turned to Mira. Does the girl agree? She said, with a smile that wasn't kind. All eyes turned to Mira. Mira stood slowly. She looked nervous, but her voice was clear. I've only been off Earth for one day, she said. But I already see something. Some of you think small planets like ours don't matter, but Earth has survived many things. We solve problems every day. We make peace with neighbors. We learn fast. She paused. You can choose fear. Or you can choose growth. The room was quiet. General Takran stared at Mira with interest. He didn't speak, but he nodded once. After the meeting, Ravi and Mira walked through the station's garden level, a long corridor filled with alien plants, glowing flowers and floating seeds. You were brave, Ravi said. I only spoke the truth, Mira replied. But I still feel like Senna is hiding something. She is, Ravi said. I've seen the way she moves her team. She's preparing for something. Mira stopped walking. That message the guard gave me, it might be connected. Let's look at it again tonight, Ravi said. That evening, they returned to their room. Mira spread the paper on the table. She had drawn lines between the shapes, circled parts, and numbered others. I think this is a pattern, she said, like a key. Ravi studied it. It's a code. Mira pointed to a row of dots. These match the communication lines used by Korgan ships, and this here, I think it's a date. She turned to Ravi, eyes wide. This message says that Senna is planning a private deal with the Korgans tomorrow. During the final meeting, Ravi stood up. If that's true, Earth will lose its seat. The Korgans will control the project. Mira nodded. We have to stop it. But we need proof, Ravi said. The aliens won't believe just words. Mira thought for a moment. Then we find the guard who gave me the message. They searched the halls of the station, asking quiet questions to the lower workers. After an hour, they found him small, thin, with gray skin and tired eyes. His name was Larn. Mira stepped forward. You gave me the note. Why? Larn looked around, scared. Because I don't want war. Senna promised to share power, but I heard her talking to a Korgan officer. She plans to hand over the whole project. She lied. Will you speak at the meeting? Ravi asked. Larn shook his head quickly. If I speak, they'll send me to the black zone. I'll disappear. Mira placed a gentle hand on his arm. Then let us use your words. We'll protect you. Larn gave a small nod. All right. But be careful. She's more dangerous than she looks. Back in their room, Ravi began recording the message. He used his AI device to match Larn's voice with real security data from the station. It worked. The message was now strong enough to present at the meeting. Mira looked at the stars outside. I'm just a dog walker. But tomorrow, I'll be standing between Earth and a group of aliens who want to steal everything. Ravi smiled. You're more than that now. She laughed softly. No matter what happens, I'm walking Bruno when we get home. Bruno barked once, wagging his tail. The next day would decide Earth's place in the galaxy, and Mira was ready. The final day of the meeting had arrived. The air on Station Threx 9 felt heavier. Something important was going to happen. Everyone knew it. Ravi stood tall beside Mira as they entered the grand chamber. Around them, alien leaders from many worlds sat in long curved rows. Their eyes, some glowing, some hidden, turned toward the humans. General Takran sat on the high seat. His expression was calm, but serious. He raised his arm to signal the beginning. Today we decide who will lead the Galactic Energy Ring, Takran said. Let all speak with truth and wisdom. Senna stood quickly. Her green crystal skin shimmered as she walked forward. She smiled, but her words were sharp. The Korgan Alliance has offered full protection for the ring. They have strength. They have soldiers. Earth is still new, small, unprepared. Mira watched her carefully. Senna's tone was soft, but her message was loud. Earth was not worthy. Then Senna turned, as if remembering something important. Before we vote, she said, I offer a tradition from my planet, the test of wits, a challenge of logic and quick thinking. If Earth wishes to lead, let their guest prove their mind. Ravi looked at her with a frown. This is not part of the agreement. Tokrin raised his hand. It is old tradition. Not required, but allowed. Senna looked at Myra. Do you accept? Everyone turned to the girl in the gray dress. Mira stood slowly, her heart beat fast. She had never taken part in any alien challenge before. She had never stood in front of leaders from across the stars, but she remembered something her grandmother once told her. Truth doesn't need to be loud. It just needs to be clear. I accept, Mira said. A wide circle of light formed in the center of the chamber. A small table rose from the floor. On it sat a black cube. Around the cube, 8 colored pieces floated in the air. Senna stepped forward. This is the puzzle of paths, she said. You must connect all the pieces using the cube's energy, but with only 3 moves. If you fail, Earth loses the right to speak. Gasps echoed across the room. Ravi looked at Tokrin, who gave a small nod. This was allowed. Mira took a deep breath and stepped inside the circle. The cube glowed as she touched it. Symbols lit up across its surface. She didn't know the alien language, but she looked at the pieces. Each was shaped differently. Each gave off a small hum. She tilted her head. Back on Earth, she used to play logic games with the children she babysat. They would solve wooden puzzles, match colors, and find hidden keys. This was harder, but not impossible. She turned the cube once. The red piece floated to the center. She touched 2 symbols. The yellow and green pieces began to glow. One move. Some aliens laughed quietly. She's just guessing. One said. She's wasting time, said another. But Mira was thinking fast. She didn't try to read the symbols. She watched the reaction. What happened after each move? She turned the cube again, this time more slowly. The blue and purple pieces shifted. 2 moves. The last move, she closed her eyes for a moment. Then she touched a single small symbol in the corner. A light shot out from the cube and circled all the pieces, linking them like stars in a constellation. Room went silent. The cube floated into the air and displayed a full map of the energy ring completed. Perfect. Tokrin stood up. She solved it. Even Senna was frozen. Her smile had vanished. Then, applause. Not loud, but respectful. Mira walked back to her seat. Her hands were shaking, but she kept her head high. Ravi leaned close. How did you know which symbol to press? I didn't. Mira whispered, but I watched what didn't work. And I trusted my eyes. Senna tried to speak again, but Tokrin raised his hand. This human girl has proven that strength is not only in ships and soldiers, it is also in the mind. Senna sat down, her face unreadable. Later, during the break, many aliens came to Mira. Some bowed slightly. Others just smiled. You have the eyes of a thinker, said one soft-spoken being from the ice world of Drellin. I would like to show your puzzle to my students, said another. Mira thanked them all politely, but she stayed close to Ravi. Then a young alien girl approached, small, with silver eyes and soft hands. She offered Mira a small metal ring with a tiny star carved into it. My people give this to those who shine, the girl said. Mira accepted it quietly, slipping it onto her finger. Back in their room, Ravi smiled as Bruno jumped into Myra's lap. You did it, Ravi said. I only played a game, Myra replied. No, Ravi said. You made them see. That's something even I couldn't do. Mira looked at the stars outside again. I think Senna's still hiding something, she said. That test wasn't just for show. She wanted me to fail. She thought I would panic, Ravi nodded. Tomorrow is the final vote. That's when her real plan will happen. Mira touched the star ring on her finger. Then we better be ready. The quiet girl from Earth, who once walked dogs in a city park, had now become the voice of her planet, and she wasn't done yet. That night, the space station above Mars was quiet, but Mira couldn't sleep. She sat near the window, looking at the stars. Bruno lay curled beside her. In her hand was the coded message the alien guard had given her. Ravi came over with 2 warm cups of tea. Still thinking about it? Mira nodded. Yes, I solved that test today, but this message still bothers me. Ravi sat down beside her. Let's go through it again, slowly. Mira laid the paper on the table. She had drawn shapes and arrows all over it. At first, the symbols looked like nonsense. But then Mira noticed something strange. Each line of symbols had 1 letter from Earth's alphabet hidden in it. A secret pattern. She marked them one by one. I think it's a message written in a mixed code, she said. Half alien, half human letters. Whoever wrote it wanted someone like me to see it. Ravi leaned forward as Mira started to read aloud, piece by piece. Senna will meet with Korgan agents during final vote. Plan, remove Earth from project. Replace Ravi with General Vorak, control energy ring. Activate phase 2. She looked up. It's true, she said. Senna wants to cheat during the vote. She wants to take the entire project and give it to the Korgans. Ravi frowned. Phase 2? What does that mean? Mira thought for a moment. Maybe it's not just about controlling the energy ring. Maybe she wants to use it for something dangerous. If they get control, Ravi said, Earth will lose its voice. We'll be blocked from the galaxy. And they might start wars, Mira added. Korgans don't build things to share. They build to take. They both went silent. Finally, Ravi spoke. We need to stop this before the vote. But we need proof stronger than a decoded message. Mira's eyes lit up. What about Larn, the guard who gave me the note? Maybe he knows more. The next morning, they went looking for Larn. The lower levels of the station were cold and dim. Long hallways curved like tunnels and few aliens walked there. After asking around, they found Larn cleaning a long glass wall near the power systems. Looked scared when he saw them. Please, he whispered. I gave you the message. That's all I can do, Mira spoke gently. We know, Larn. We just want to stop a lie. Senna is planning something big. You saw it, didn't you? Larn looked around, then slowly nodded. She met with a Korgan named Vorak. I was sweeping near the council tower when I heard them. She said she would switch the vote results. That she already paid one of Tokran's aides to support the change. Did you record it? Ravi asked. Larn looked afraid. Recording a private meeting is illegal here. Please, Mira said. We can't let her control the energy ring. You don't need to speak in front of everyone. Just help us prove it's real. Larn pulled out a small silver chip from his jacket. This has audio, just a few seconds. I kept it in case things got worse. Ravi took the chip carefully. This is enough. We can show it to General Tokran. Larn looked down. Be careful. If she finds out I helped, send someone after me. Mira reached into her pocket and gave him her old Earth communication badge. If you're in trouble, press this, she said. We'll find you. Larn nodded and hurried away. Back in their room, Ravi played the recording. A sharp female voice spoke first. Make sure Earth's vote is removed. Once Vorak is in place, we'll move to phase 2. Then a deep growl replied. Understood. Our ships are ready. Mira and Ravi looked at each other. This is it. Ravi said. Proof. But will Tokran believe us? Mira asked. Senna has power. She looks clean on the outside. Tokran listens to logic, Ravi said. And he respects your mind. After the test yesterday, he'll at least hear you out. Later that afternoon, Mira stood in front of General Tokran's private quarters. 2 guards stepped aside as Ravi handed them the chip. They waited quietly. After 10 long minutes, Tokran stepped out. His glowing eyes studied them carefully. I have listened, he said. This is a serious matter. Are you sure it's true? Mira stepped forward. We decoded a hidden message. We spoke to the one who sent it. We have the recording. If we are wrong, we will accept the decision. Takran didn't blink. And if you are right, then Earth deserves its place. And the Korgan plan must be stopped, Ravi said. Takran nodded once. I will call a private circle of judges. Present the evidence at tomorrow's final vote. That night, Mira didn't sleep again. But this time, it wasn't because she was afraid. It was because she was ready. She had come from a normal life, walking dogs, solving small puzzles, living under the stars. Now, she stood between her planet and a silent enemy. Bruno lay beside her again, and she scratched his ears. Tomorrow we speak for Earth, she whispered, and Bruno wagged his tail, as if he understood. The great chamber of Station Threx 9 was brighter than before. A silver light filled the air, and a quiet hum echoed from the tall ceiling. It was the final day of the business assembly, and every leader in the galaxy had gathered for one purpose. Vote. The vote would decide who would control the galactic energy ring. Many powerful groups were waiting. Some wanted peace. Some wanted power. And hidden among them, one planned to take control by cheating. Ravi walked in with Mira beside him. He looked calm, but Mira could feel the tension in the room. Her hands were cold. She looked up at the giant glass dome above. Through it, she saw the planet Mars glowing red in the distance. She whispered, "Are you ready?" Ravi smiled slightly. "I've been in many meetings, but this is the first one where I brought Earth's future in a data chip and a dog walker by my side." Mira laughed nervously. "Well, I'm not just a dog walker anymore." Bruno gave a small bark beside them. Even the dog knew something important was about to happen. General Takran stood at the center of the room, tall and silent. His silver armor shone under the light. Behind him were the high judges, 3 alien beings who watched every detail of the meeting. Takran raised his hand. "Today we choose who will guide the future. Who will carry the ring? Who will protect balance?" He looked around the room. Each voice here is equal. Each planet gets one vote. The screens above them lit up. Names of planets and leaders appeared. Symbols glowed in front of every seat, ready for votes to be placed. Senna stood slowly. She looked calm, but her eyes were sharp. "I speak for those who value strength," she said. "The Korgan Alliance is powerful, organized. They are ready. Earth is too young, too weak. We cannot wait for it to grow." Several leaders nodded. To Kran looked at Ravi. "Does Earth wish to speak?" Ravi stood. "Yes, but I won't speak today. Mira will." Gasps filled the room. "That girl? The test solver? She's not even trained." Mira walked forward slowly. Her heart beat fast, but she stood tall. She had spoken before. She had solved a puzzle under pressure. Now she would speak from truth. "I know I'm not important. Like many of you," Mira said. "I don't come from a powerful family or a rich world. I used to walk dogs. I still do. But I've seen enough to understand what matters." She held up the silver chip. "This is a recording," she said. "It proves a plan was made to cheat this vote." Senna met with a Korgan leader named Vorak. She promised him control. She said Earth's vote would be removed. That she paid someone to change the result. Senna's face changed. "This is a lie, a trick from a child." Takran raised his hand. "Silence. The chip will be played." A guard took the chip and placed it into the system. The speakers came to life. Senna's voice echoed through the hall. "Make sure Earth's vote is removed. Once Vorak is in place, we'll move to phase 2. Then came Vorak's voice. "Understood. Our ships are ready." The room fell silent. Takran turned toward the high judges. They nodded. Senna stepped forward. "This is fake. It could have been edited." But Takran already had his answer. "We tested the chip this morning. The voice match is real. The location match is real. Senna, your words have been confirmed." Senna looked around the room. No one supported her now. Takran spoke again. "You have broken the law of trust. The Korgan alliance is removed from this vote. Senna tried to speak, but 2 guards stepped forward. She was guided out of the chamber, her crystal skin no longer shining with pride. Ravi walked to Mira and placed his hand gently on her shoulder. "You just saved the project," he said. "And Earth's future." Mira was still breathing fast. "I was scared, but I knew it was right." General Tokran stepped down from the center. He came to stand in front of Myra. "You came here as a guest," he said. "You became more than that." He looked at the other leaders. This girl saw what many of us missed. She solved the puzzle. She spoke the truth. And she stopped a lie. That is true strength. He turned back to Mira. "Would you like to join the circle of voices? We offer you a permanent seat." Mira was shocked. "A permanent seat?" She looked at Ravi. He smiled, but waited for her to speak. She shook her head gently. "Thank you, but no. I'm just one voice. And I like walking dogs." The room laughed softly. Tokran nodded. "A wise answer." Mira added, "But I do have one request." "Speak," Tokran said. "If Earth joins the Ring Project, then I want every small planet to have a voice too. Not just Earth, not just the big ones, all of them." Tokran looked around. The high judges nodded, agreed. The vote began again. This time, it was clean. One by one, planets cast their votes. When Earth's turn came, Mira pressed the button. A small green light blinked on the screen dot in the end. Earth was chosen as one of the 5 lead planets to help guide the energy ring. Cheers filled the chamber. For the first time, Earth had a seat among the stars. Back in their room, Mira sat by the window again. Bruno rested at her feet. Ravi handed her a warm cup. "You were the real voice today," he said. "I just told the truth," she replied, and stayed calm. "You know," Ravi said, "you're better than most diplomats I've met." She laughed. "Maybe, but tomorrow I still walk Bruno. In the park, even after all this." "Especially after all this," Mira said. She looked at the stars once more. They didn't feel so far now, and for the first time in history, a simple girl from Earth had helped write the future of the galaxy. The meeting had ended, but the station was still full of quiet energy. News of Mira's brave speech and Senna's secret plan had already spread across the galaxy. Messages poured into Tokran's office from far planets, some shocked, some thankful, and many full of praise for the human girl who stood for truth. Mira, however, didn't feel like a hero. She was tired. Her voice was sore, and all she wanted was a moment of peace. But peace would have to wait. General Tokran had requested one final meeting. Mira and Ravi stood inside a smaller, more private hall. It was round, made of clear crystal walls that showed the stars outside. In the center, a golden table stood with 5 chairs. Tokran was already seated, and 2 other alien leaders were beside him, one from the Moon Council and one from the water world of Trina. Tokran spoke first. "The Energy Ring Project has reached a new path. With Senna gone and the Korgan plan stopped, we now must decide how to lead together." He looked at Mira. "You saved this project, and many of us believe you should help shape its future." Mira felt nervous. "I'm not trained for this. I didn't come here to be in charge." The leader from Trina, whose body shimmered like water, smiled kindly. "That is why you are perfect. You spoke not to win, but to protect." Tokran placed a small, glowing card on the table. "We are offering Earth an equal share in the leadership circle. But we also want to offer you something else, a position as honor advisor to the ring." Ravi looked surprised. "An advisor? For Mira?" "Yes," Tokran said. "Your actions brought honor to Earth. Your voice brought justice. That is something we value deeply." Mira looked at the glowing card. She remembered walking through muddy parks, feeding Bruno, solving small puzzles in the quiet of her home. She never dreamed of standing here. "I'm honored," she said. But I can't accept the position. Not fully. The leaders looked surprised. Mira continued. If I take this title, I'll lose what makes me real. I'm not a leader. I'm not from power. I'm from the ground. I need to stay connected to the people, the planet, and the quiet voices no one hears. Takran asked, What do you propose? Mira smiled. Let me serve as a temporary guide. I'll help for 6 months. I'll listen, learn, and speak for the small voices. After that, someone else should take my place. Someone like me. The leaders looked at each other. Then Takran stood. A deal of honor, he said. Accepted. He handed her the glowing card. This is your key. It gives you access to the inner work of the energy ring. Use it with care. Mira took the card. It was warm in her hand, like sunlight. Later that evening, Mira and Ravi sat in their room once more. The stars outside looked softer now. You were bold, Ravi said, turning down a permanent seat. I didn't turn it down, Mira said. I just made it fair. Ravi smiled. That's the kind of thinking the galaxy needs. Bruno barked once and wagged his tail. Mira rubbed his head. Do you ever wonder, she asked Ravi, why you picked me to come here? Ravi leaned back. Because you see things others don't. You notice the small, quiet truths. That's rare, Mira nodded. I think I'm beginning to understand this whole galaxy thing. It's not about who has the loudest voice. It's about who listens the best. The next day, Mira received her first official mission as honor advisor. She was asked to visit 3 smaller planets, ones that had never had a voice in the Energy Council. Her job was simple: listen, observe, and report what they needed. Ravi offered to go with her, but she shook her head. This one, I do alone, she said. You've done enough for Earth already. Before leaving, she walked through the station garden one last time. The flowers glowed gently, and floating seeds danced around her. She passed a group of alien children playing with puzzle cubes, like the one she had solved during the test. One little girl ran up to her. Are you the Earth girl who beat the logic game? Mira smiled. Yes, I am. The girl handed her a small drawing, a picture of Mira standing with stars all around her. Thank you, the girl said. You made us feel brave. Mira held the drawing close to her heart. On her journey to the small planets, Mira saw many things. She visited a farming moon where families grew food in floating gardens. She saw a desert world where people sang messages into the wind. She met miners, teachers, artists, and even lonely space pilots who had never spoken to someone from Earth before. Everywhere she went, she asked one question: what do you need? And every time, the answer was different, but honest. Some needed safety, some needed trade. Some just wanted to be heard. Mira, everything down in a small notebook, the same way she used to write reminders for dog food and walk times. When she returned to Station Threx 9, she stood before the leaders once more. Here is my report, she said. It's not just numbers. It's voices. Use them. Takran took the notebook and placed it in the council archive. This will become part of our permanent history, he said. Thank you. Mira's 6 months passed quickly. And just as she promised, she stepped down from her position. Before leaving the station for good, Takran met her one last time. You have changed us, he said. Not with power, but with honor. Mira handed him back the glowing card. The galaxy needs many voices. Just make sure you keep listening. Takran nodded. We will. As her shuttle flew back toward Earth, Mira sat beside Bruno, who was now used to space travel. She looked at the small ring on her finger, the one given to her by the alien child. She smiled. She didn't need a crown, a medal, or a title. She had done her part. She had walked through the stars and made a difference, not with money, not with fame, but with simple truth and a kind heart. The shuttle glided silently through space. Outside, stars passed like silver dots on black cloth. Mira sat by the window, Bruno curled up beside her. After months in the vast galaxy, after talks with leaders and visits to strange planets, she was finally going home. Earth looked small but beautiful below the blue oceans, green forests and golden deserts shining in the sunlight. Mira's heart beat faster. She remembered when this journey began. Just a simple dog walker, invited to a business dinner she never expected to attend. Now she carried stories from the stars, voices from many worlds, and a promise to keep Earth's future safe. When the shuttle landed in New Delhi, everything felt the same, and yet very different. Ravi was waiting for her at the station. His smile was wide, but his eyes held pride. "You did it," he said, handing her a small bouquet of flowers. "You made Earth heard." Mira laughed softly. "I just did what I thought was right." Bruno barked happily, wagging his tail. They walked outside, the warm sunlight touching their faces. Mira breathed deeply, the smells of the city filling her lungs: car fumes, street food, wet earth after rain. "This is home," she said. Ravi nodded. "And you helped make it part of the galaxy." Back at her small apartment, Mira took Bruno for his usual walk through the nearby park. Children played under the trees, birds chirped in the branches, and vendors called out their greetings. For a moment, Mira felt peaceful. She smiled as she watched Bruno chase a butterfly. A little girl came running up to her, holding a drawing. "You're the Earth girl from the stars," the child said, eyes wide. Mira knelt down. "That's right." The girl handed her the picture: a bright sun, a dog, and a shining star. "Thank you," Mira said, hugging the child. She looked around the park, the simple, everyday life that she loved. But Mira also knew things had changed. Earth was no longer alone. Her planet had a seat at the Galactic Council. Small voices from small places mattered now. She thought of the people she met on other planets, farmers in floating gardens, miners singing to the wind, lonely pilots hoping for friendship. She knew her job was not over. One evening, Ravi came to visit. "I have an idea," he said. They sat together. Plans spread out on a table. What if we create a space school? For those who never had a chance. For kids like the ones I met on the farming moon, Mira smiled. A place to learn about the stars and each other, Ravi nodded. Exactly. A school where everyone can share, build, and grow. They talked late into the night, dreaming of a future where Earth and its people would rise not by power, but by kindness and knowledge. As days passed, Mira returned to her quiet life, walking Bruno through the city. But now, when she looked up at the stars, she felt connected to the vast galaxy, to friends she had never met, and to the promise that no voice is too small to be heard. One evening, as she sat on her balcony, Mira whispered to the stars, "Thank you for trusting me." Bruno barked softly, as if saying, "You did well." And so, the dog walker who went to a business dinner on a space station became a symbol of hope for Earth. Her story was told across galaxies, not because she was rich or famous, but because she stayed true to herself, because sometimes the smallest voices can change the biggest worlds.